Okay. So in the last session, we have seen what is the Java constructors or the constructors in Java or in any object-oriented programming. Constructor is basically used to initialize the objects. Now we will see the concept of default constructor in depth. Okay. So the default constructor is nothing but it is a constructor which is either provided by the system itself or provided by the user with no arguments. Okay, either it is provided by the system itself or it is a constructor which is created by the user with no parameter included in the constructor. Okay, so if you see here, the basically this is nothing but the syntax of the default constructor. So here we are just specifying the class name and then opening bracket and the closing bracket. So this is nothing but the basic format which we are following. So example, here in this case, if you are considering, we are creating the class bike1, let us say that. Okay, as we know that whenever we are creating the constructor, then at that time it should have the same name as that of the name of the class. So this is nothing but the same name, and the opening bracket, closing bracket is there. Okay, since it is used as a function or used as a method. Okay, and whatever the message is given here, that is getting displayed if you are creating the object. Okay, so opening bracket, closing bracket, so this message will be getting printed. So this is nothing but the main method. In the main method, the first statement is a public. Public means this particular method should get access publicly. Anyone can have access of this main function. Okay, static means no need to create the object. Without creation of object, we can go for executing the statements. Okay, so without creation of the object of bike1, I can able to execute this main function. Void means it is not returning any value, so therefore it is void. Main means it is the main function. Okay, and this is nothing but the signature which we have to follow. Why we require this? If you are giving any arguments, if you are giving any parameters or any inputs, okay, if you are giving any inputs onto the command prompt, that is possible with the that you can able to give with the help of this. If you want to give, for example, if you are running a particular program and if you want to give any arguments at runtime, so for that we are specifying these arguments. Okay, so within that we are creating the object of bike. Okay, we are creating the object of bike1b is equal to new bike. Okay, so bike1b is equal to new bike1. So with this, it is just closing bracket is coming. Whenever I am entering into this statement, bike1 b is equal to new bike1, it is directly invoking this particular construct. Whenever this is created, as we know that whenever the new keyword is coming and with the name of that of the class, automatically the object is getting created. So b is created. So now we need to initialize this object. If you want to initialize this object, system.out.println, so this is getting directly printed as it is. So bike is created. Bike1 b is equal to new bike1, and this object, so it is coming here, system.out.println, bike is created. Okay, so this is just the default constructor. Okay, so if you are considering what is the purpose, to provide the default values to the particular variables which are declared, we are using this default constructor. For example, if our program is running out of the scope, or if you are running a particular program, to initialize the values, we are using this constructor. And why default? Specifically to assign the specific default value such as 0, null, or depending on its types. Okay, we will see now the example of a default constructor that displays the default values. Okay, so if you are considering this program, here in this case, always the program is starting with public static void main. This is nothing but the standard procedure which we are following. This is the starting point for our program. Public means publicly accessible accessible. Static means without creation of object I can able to go. Okay, so student 3, this is nothing but the objects which we are created, and student 3 S1 and S2. Okay, so S1 and S2 are nothing but the two objects we are created. But if you are carefully seeing this student 3 have not provided with any of the default constructor or any parameterized constructor. So it means that the system is providing the default constructor for the same. The system is providing auto constructors. Okay, so within that S1 dot display, so within that, whenever we are observing this, then at that time, automatically, if you are printing the value of these variables, ID and name, then at that time, that name is filled with the default values. ID is an integer, so the default value is a 0, and this name is a string, so this is filled with. Okay, similar for S1, S1 के लिए एक बार print होगा, it is printing the value of 0 and null, and similar for S2, it is printing the value of 0 and. Okay, so in the above class you are not creating any constructor, so compiler will provide you a default constructor. Here 0 and null values are provided by default constructor. I think this much is sufficient for today's session. The next part we will see afterwards.